This is a kit that I purchased from Peel Craftsman, and it's a Baltimore Clipper. It's called the Dapper Tom, and worked on it for a while, and then I took a hiatus while I restored an Austin Healey, and now I'm back working on it again, and I think I finally finished the ship, and thought I'd go over some of the things I did in building it. The plans that come with the kit are here. This is the hull lines and deck fittings, and then here we have the rigging plans. The kit came with a partially carved solid wooden hull, and it's a construction I'm not fond of, so I converted it over to plank on frame construction. And the way I did that is I overlaid a piece of tracing paper on top of their plans. Match up the water line here. There we go. Whoops. So then, using the spacing of the ribs on the original kit plans, I created locations for ribs, starting here with 0 and counting to 16 going aft, and the letters A through M as in Mike going forward. And then use this drawing to create the lofting of the ribs themselves, which I have here in this notebook. So these are, it's rib number 15, it's up at the stern. This is the very farthest one to the stern. And once we lofted all the ribs, I cut out a cherry wood keel that's shown here on the plans, and then we attached the ribs to the keel, making a jig to hold everything in place. And the result is over here. This is the side that's unfinished, so that you get a pretty good look at you get a better hold on this. Get a pretty good look at the ribs. The ribs are 2 thicknesses of material that are cut into pieces that are then trundled together with pegs. I don't know if you can see the pegs in it. Those are bamboo, which I drew through a tool to make them small as I could. So I like the construction of the hull much nicer this way, and it gives me a much better detail on the interior, where all the ribs come up through to the rails. So I started off with my own hull, and then some of the other things I didn't use from the kit is they have a lot of castings. These are the gun ports. These are the gratings and fife rails and stuff like that, and some other things that didn't get used. And we got some bunch of stuff in here in the kit that didn't get used either. I made my own. So I don't know, it's a good question. What do we call this? Is this a kit, or is this a scratch build, or is this a highly modified kit? I'm not sure. I was particularly happy with the way the bars to guard the windows here came out, and being not a solid hull, I have a below deck, and I was able to make a pretty nice ladder out of cherry wood that I'm proud of. And the wood gratings, I think, are a lot prettier than the castings that came in the kit. I did use the castings from the cannons, but they didn't fit very well because I measured very carefully the height of the rails from the plans and whatnot, but the cannons ran into the rails. So I had to carve out the cradles on the cannons to lower the guns down in far enough that they would get in underneath the rail. But we did use that. The rat lines are all tied using clove hitches all the way up. I did use the castings for the crow's nests or trestles or whatever you want to call them. I did use those. So those are from the kit. Made my own capstan instead of using the casting. The pin rails are mine, cherry wood, life rails. So that's the unfinished side of the boat. And we'll turn it around. Here you see the finished side, which I think is very nice. The lines of the hull, I think, are much nicer when they're built up like this. This is the first time I've used the brass pedestals to mount a ship model, and it was interesting. I had to calculate the spacing to get the waterline horizontal. I was able to determine from my drawing that the uprising of the keel is at 2 degrees, and from that I was able to space the pedestals in the correct position. The decks are planked, and after seeing Rob's video and presentation on planking, I probably shouldn't have put any fasteners in, but I did put fasteners into the planking, but I think they're somewhat subtle. They're just pinpricks that I finished over, so I don't think that's too much overdone. I've used a pencil on the side of each plank so that you get a little idea of caulking going on. So that does a pretty nice job, I think. Anyhow, she's all completed. And I'm now ready to order a display case kit for it. That'll be the next thing, is build the display case. I like the Baltimore Clipper, which is why I built it, because of the lines on it. The hull has very pretty lines, and the rake of the masts is pretty on it. They carry a tremendous amount of sail for their size. They can't be a hugely stable vessel, I wouldn't think. If she were handled wrong, I got a feeling you'd lay her over pretty quick, but they were fast, and they were used as privateers. And they were able to outrun the larger gunships of the British Navy.